Factories are huge consumers of resources, so improving factory efficiency, therefore, can reap huge benefits when done right. Consider manufacturers lose an estimated 50 billion annually to factory floor downtime. Now imagine the benefits of reclaiming just a fraction of that. Today, the opportunity for manufacturers to reinvent themselves with data, advanced analytics, and AI and generative or Gen AI is huge. Hi, everybody. My name is Jim Malone. I'm Senior Contributing Editor for CIO Marketing Services, and welcome to this webinar brought to you by AWS and Tech Mahindra. We've got a pair of experts with us today to talk about what's driving the factory of the future transformation and some of the technologies and best practices powering the factory of the future, all from the perspective and an organization with generations of manufacturing technology experience. We've got a great session lined up, so let's meet our speakers. First up, let's say hello to Manikantan NS, who's a Senior VP Global Head of Manufacturing Vertical for Tech Mahindra. Hi, Mani. Welcome. Tell us a little bit about your role at Tech Mahindra.
Thank you, Jim, and glad to be here. I primarily lead the manufacturing vertical globally for Tech Mahindra. Been in the industry for now more than 2 decades. Worked across both the discrete and process manufacturing customers. Predominantly been on the consulting, advising customers on their key manufacturing related technology strategies, which they will need to adapt for their transformation as well as innovation journeys. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Jim. I really look forward to this conversation.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Mani, for being with us. We appreciate it and look forward to your commentary. Now let's say hello to Ganesh Shenoy, who's Director of MIQ, deeply involved in the factory of the future with Tech Mahindra. Hi, Ganesh. Welcome. Thanks so much for being with us. Tell us a little bit about your work at Tech Mahindra.
Yeah, I'm part of Tech Mahindra now. I head Factory of Future for Tech Mahindra. I have been all throughout manufacturing professional, about 40 years of manufacturing experience. In that last 10 years, I've been in leadership role in Mahindra and Mahindra. I I was heading fa- tractor division and then auto division of Mahindra. About when I head, what I mean is all the plants plus supply chain and manufacturing engineering. This was my role, and in Mahindra, last 10 to 12 years, we have done a lot in terms of digitalizing our plants. That is what we are bringing it to our customers through TechCare. That is my role in Factory of Future. I also am for the Mahindra Group, head of uh, Mahindra Institute of Quality. Thank you very much, and looking forward to a great conversation today.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Ganesh. We're delighted you could be with us and looking forward to your comments and insights as well. Now, before we get started, gentlemen, I just want to point out for our listeners the additional resources section of the player. And there you'll find lots more resources and assets on today's topic, the factory of the future, from our sponsors. You can download a copy of today's presentation. You can download lots of other information that will help you on your factory of the future journey. Lots of interesting assets there. And you can find out how to get in touch with our sponsor, again, to accelerate, continue your factory of the future journey. So do take advantage of that. And finally, a big thanks to our sponsors, Amazon Web Services and Tech Mahindra, for making today's event possible. With that, let's jump into our discussion without further ado. And I'm going to start with you, Mani. Tell us a little bit about Tech Mahindra's history in manufacturing.
Sure, Jim. If you look at our journey, in fact, what began as a Mahindra Group, began its journey in the business about 7 decades ago. We started off as a steel trading business, and today we are a global brand that traverses nations and sectors. We are the largest manufacturer of tractors and farm equipments in the world by volume. We are a leading sports utility vehicle manufacturer in the auto sector, and many more first in our part of the world. If you look at Tech Mahindra today, we are a global consulting and systems integrator, and we operate in over 90 plus countries. And we deliver solutions with a unique blend of digital innovation and robust industry strong processes. The way we engage with our customers is our promise to help them scale at speed, where we design their future state solutions and we offer innovative digital experiences that enable them for the transformation journey. And that's been our primary aim, to enable enterprises and associates and society at large to rise for a more equal world, future readiness, and value creation. If you look at our manufacturing vertical, which got established, as we have a strong lineage from the core parental group, the core DNA is carried on, and today we serve more than 250 plus customers globally. And, we solve some of the most complex, unique business challenges for our customers at scale. And this offers us a very unique opportunity to bring in, different sub-vertical specific value chain driven experiences. And that kind of offers tremendous value to our customers because we operate across multiple sectors like auto, aero, industrial manufacturing, process, construction metals, mining, CPG, medical devices, so on and so forth. So that gives us a definitive edge at marketplace because we experience it. We have kind of tested it on ourselves before we bring in some of these solutions and services for marketplace.
Monty, thanks so much. What a really interesting background, and it's really important to understand this is a technology company with deep roots in the manufacturing vertical. So thank you for that. Um, Ganesh, I want to get you involved in the conversation, thinking about the times we're living in within technology, with data analytics, Gen AI, artificial intelligence. It's really driving change in lots of verticals, and manufacturing is no exception. Focus now for a minute, Ganesh, if you will. What's driving the transformation of manufacturing?
Yeah, to answer this question, let me step back a little bit. Uh, Manufacturing excellence is not just one point of improvement. It is a journey, right? It is a continuous improvement journey, which we have been, through the years, we have been doing. But the important thing is sometimes you have sometimes you have sudden change, what we call it as uh, revolution, right? Uh, in in the industry now we have Industry 4.0, which is called Industry Fourth Revolution, which means now what was improving normally will do a drastic change. So this is where we are in today. How that is happening? That is because of the digital levers which are getting into manufacturing, like IoT, AI, robotics, tomorrow maybe 3D printing, analytics. All these digital tools are bringing in a dramatic change in manufacturing. So we are just beginning to see this change. So that is what you see in this slide. What is in store. If you look at this, it is estimated about 260 billion will be spent on this. What are the benefits? Today, industry is losing about 50 billion in just breakdowns, downtime of equipment. It is losing about 5 trillion because of waste and scrap because of quality issues. So overall, you have a huge opportunity coming in because of this step change coming into manufacturing, which is called Industry 4.0. So this is what is an opportunity for a tech company like Tech Mahindra and AWS, wherein we can step in and help industry to jump this steep change, help them to move into a completely different level uh, in terms of, you can imagine, even if you get some 20% of benefit, what it will benefit to the industry. So that is the time we are in today, and that is what we are looking at as partners to get into and uh, you know, be with our Bunny just now spoke about 450 customers that we have, help them uh, improve in manufacturing area.
Money, it's true that there's a lot of important drivers, but not all manufacturers are created equal. You've had to be very selective about where to put the efforts for the factory of the future.
Absolutely. Jim, if you really look at, what's happening in the industry, um, there are four different levels of, uh, disruptions which are happening at the same time. And there are four other dimensions which are also kind of, colluding together. So in total, about eight dimensions coming together in this particular space. As Ganesh sir was saying, technology being one, look at it from the regulatory angle, the kind of changes which we've seen over the labor market, or look at what's happening over the environment protection or the trade and investment, regulatory changes which have happened. The workforce itself going through massive change, right? Whether it is to do with the diversity, the reskilling, and the environmental related impacts, whether it is the energy efficiencies which will need to take care, or the carbon emissions which one will need to take care, or look at the kind of impact the globalization has had in terms of the societal aging, the population growth, the inequality we are talking about, the demographic changes which impact the manufacturing enterprises, especially whether it is sectoral shifts or whether you talk about the global power shifts which is happening, the urbanization which is happening, and look at what's happening at the economic and the consumer behavior. We are talking about digital economy. We are talking about the economic power shifting or the consumer behavior in terms of empowered individual, or you talk about value price reality, or the wellness being a primary focus. And if you look at all of these dimensions as a manufacturing player, for me, it becomes increasingly important for me to operate for scale and operate, for efficiency. And that can happen only when you kind of adapt, the collusion of all of this from an industry realization perspective. And that's where certain industries, like for example, probably an auto, has never seen ever before type of disruption. Today, it's no longer, the automakers are talking about the experience of the engineering, but rather it is the experience of the technology. So we have software-defined vehicles, which are essentially driving the market growth. We just saw what Tesla did a couple of weeks ago, launching the cyber taxis, right, or the robo taxis, or the robo van. I mean, that's the future, right? Now, imagine what's happening at the process industry. I mean, a lot of the chemical and non-chemical players are getting completely disrupted because the commodity markets are completely being driven by economies of scale. So obviously, there are increasingly driving cost pressures to become more and more efficient in your manufacturing practices. Look at the consumption-driven economy driving the industrial manufacturers, whether you're primarily an OEM doing equipment manufacturing, or whether you're actually doing a consumable, whatever case you may be, you're operating, again, for the increasing, ever-changing demands, which means the manufacturing processes will have to be a lot more adaptive. And when you look at all of this, uh, the compelling reasons for the manufacturing customers is to really opt for the factory of future, in terms of their own core operations, and what we call as the Industry 4.0 principles to be adapted at scale. And that is where a partner like Tech Mahindra comes in, and we are able to provide that. And that's a very interesting times to be in, because all of this is happening now, and it is happening like never before, with with AI and Gen AI type of disruptions only increasing the pace of it, right? And that's why I think where the market is driven, and I think there is a significant amount of value, um, not only just for manufacturing customer, but also look at it from their end customer perspective, right? If I'm an enterprise today, my end customers derive more value when I adapt to all of these Industry 4.0 principles. I'm able to do things for lot more value, which means I can be a lot more innovative, and I can do this all being more efficient. And as manufacturers, efficiency takes always precedence, innovation takes always precedence, and that is what is going to really drive the future of the enterprises today. And that is where we see a very, very interesting solution.
Thanks, Mani. That's a perfect segue into my next question, which is to ask you, and then we'd love to hear from Ganesh as well. So talk about the big picture, how Amazon Web Services and Tech Mahindra, what's your vision for the factory of the future before we dive into some specific use cases? So Mani, let's start with you then. Love to hear from Ganesh on this as well.
Sure. So what we're really doing is, our vision of factory of future, the way we really look at it is a conundrum of ecosystem which we are creating, right? If you look at whether it is a combination of technologies which we bring in, whether it is sensorization, whether it is augmented reality, whether it is robotics or autonomous systems or smart automation, or you look at the cloud compute to AI to quantum compute, all of this is possible today, of driving an entire ecosystem. And what we've done within Tech Mahindra is kind of partnering with the hyperscaler like AWS to effectively offer our solutions and services at scale. And we are able to blend in the right solution mix, and understand every manufacturing enterprise is different. There is a whole lot of their operating spectrum is different. So our ability to really blend a solution which is custom designed for that particular customer is a very key aspect of it. And second is, we will need a partner who's able to do that quickly, and at the same time is able to offer this at scale. And that's where a hyperscaler like AWS is a perfect partner for us. And together we are able to offer very compelling solutions and services for marketplace around the Industry 4.0 and factory.
Okay, now let me talk about how in Tech Mahindra go about uh, doing this Industry 4.0 solutions, taking it to our customers. So, as Mani already said that we are a strong manufacturing company. So it was decided that TechChem will be totally backed up by M&M, bringing in its experience and heritage from manufacturing. So what we do in Mahindra and TechChem partnership is that what our plants, especially the one you are looking at, this is a Chakan plant slide which you are looking at. This is like a live lab for us. This is where we experiment, create use cases in Industry 4.0 levers, and take it to the customers. This is how we go about. And let's talk about why Mahindra plans. So like what I said earlier, last 3 to 4 years, we have done a lot in our manufacturing plants. We have our own MES, and we have hundreds of use cases which we have deployed. And if you overall look at our plants are connected end to end, all our processes, your information flow and the controls are online real time. So we strongly believe that when you have this kind of technical intervention on the shop floor, digital intervention on the shop floor, only then you get a huge benefit. What you see, just to give you some of the numbers here, we have in last 2 to 3 years improved productivity by more than 50%. We have reduced production cost by 40%, energy consumption by 30%. Our uptime of equipment is more than 99.5%. Our quality defects have gone down by 90%. All these results are due to the deployment of Industry 4.0 on a very disciplined and workforce and excellent equipment. So this is what we do, and this is when we have deployed all this and we have got such a good result. These are the use cases we are bringing it to our customers. Like what I said, you will not get the impact unless and until you digitalize every process on the shop floor. If you look at here, 6 impact areas, these 6 impact areas cover every area of operations, from quality to equipment, production, supply chain, power, ESG, and workforce also. When you do the entire thing online real time and move on from reactive to proactive area of action, which is basically moving into analytics, AI, right? That is when you get huge benefits. So now I'll take you through some of the use cases in these areas so that you can understand what are the types of use cases we have deployed on the shop floor and what kind of impact we have got. So we can move to the next slide where you can see use cases in every area. These are just some of the use cases. We will have hundreds of use cases on the shop floor. This is one of the use case. We bring in a digital intervention. It is video analytics, end of the line inspection by using cameras at every stage. All aggregates in Mahindra, end of the line, and any product, for any product, end of the line, what we call it as detection through cameras, through video analytics. Why I'm showing this paint defect is something which was very tough to do, because paint, as you know, is very difficult to identify the defects because they are very minute. And this was the last area which we could crack, right? What we do is, end of the line, there are precision cameras. After painting, the body goes through that tunnel where those cameras are there, and it takes the photographs, and then it does analytics, and it runs an AI engine to give the exact defects for the people to look at. And since the entire paint shop is connected back and automated, This also AI engine we use to control the parameters of the paint shop, including robos and the paint parameters, so that we are able to continuously lower the defects uh, progressively. This has been one of the very good use cases for quality. Yeah, we follow something called in quality no fault forward philosophy. Since our lines are connected from end to end, right from the press shop to the vehicle assembly line, every operation, what is the meaning of no fault forward? It is robust station. You do not allow any defect to flow from the station to next station. That is what we call it as no fault forward. For that, you have to have a robust design of a station. That is what we do. And we have used hundreds of digital Pokayokis on the line. I will put it as thousands, right from press shop to the end of the line. There are hundreds of them. So this is one of the examples. Like it is a torquing which is happening on the line. So here, instead of 8 bolts tightening, if you forget to tighten one, then the line stops. Forget about the numbers, even the sequence and the value of torque applied is lower, it will not accept. The line will stop, you have to correct, and then only it can go to the next station. This is what we do across all the tightening, all the welding parameters, and all the filling, sealant application, painting, all these parameters are online controlled, and end of the line, unless and until everything, because since it is connected through MES, end of the line, unless and until every parameter is green, it will not allow the vehicle to be called as okay. This is what is a very powerful tool which we have used for quality, which we call it as no fault forward. This is what we bring it to the customers, because variety of tools we have used here, use cases like tightening to video analytics and many other types of Pokayokes, various Pokayokes we have used on the line, which we can bring it to the customers. Now let's talk about the equipment. Equipment is very important. I made a statement that our uptime is 99.5% plus. We have 2 plants in Mahindra where there was 0 breakdown for 1 year. That's what the level you can achieve through this. Here we have in maintenance we have 3 regions. One is condition-based maintenance. Second is time-based maintenance. And the third is the health of the machine inspected by the operator. So these are 3 areas we work on. When I talk about condition-based maintenance, these are all connected machines. All the parameters which may, take the machine get into a level where it will break down. And also, we call it as Q points. Any of the parameters of the machines which will impact quality. All these parameters are censored. In many of the machines, originally you have those sensors, you pick up from there. Or if you don't have, then you have to add sensors like current, vibration, color of the coolant. Many sensors are there today that you use them. And we have given threshold limit. Any parameter going beyond threshold, it gives a signal to the maintenance team to correct. This level is not to the extent that it will break down. It will give early signals so that you can go and correct, you can avoid breakdown. And this is what we do, and this data is also collected so in the system. So we use to create models for predicting breakdown also. Similarly, for time-based maintenance, what we have done is since we are able to count cycle now, we have moved from time-based, like you change a part. What is the meaning here? That after so many months, there are running parts which are there in the equipment which need change. They will wear out, right? So consider that in an equipment there are 10 such parts. Now with the cycle count, now we have converted that into time bound to cycle count. So say that one part has got 200,000 cycles, which is gone into MES, and as the machine runs, it calculates and it gives you a signal that after 200,000 cycles, you have to change the part. Right? What we have told our people is that when you change the part, you look at the condition of the part. If the condition is good, then you can put it back onto the machine and change the counter. Because usually you have that factor of safety, which you can keep doing till the time you are very sure that you have used up the life of the part that you are putting it back. So with that, what has happened is, two things have happened with this kind of a control. One, breakdowns have gone to zero, and second one is your maintenance cost has come down by 50%. This is the benefit we got. So in equipment management, so what we call it as a connected machines, there's a huge benefit to any organization when you connect the machines in the right way, so that you can control quality, you can control breakdowns, and of course you can increase the life of the equipment because of this, and also reduce the maintenance cost. So we have something for supply chain where we do not give any schedule. It is all auto, no manual intervention. Right from the beginning till the end, we have used ERP also in that, and also MES. Entire thing is auto scheduled. We work on a replenishment mode. As you consume, the trigger is given to the supplier. So there are various ways to do that. But this is one area we have been able to do so well that we have moved into a lot of AI tools in this. I will talk about one of them in the next slide. But today, entire inventory is auto-controlled. You get signals from the system, so from the AI models that that this supplier is not supplying, and you need to work with him. All those very early signals it gives you, and also overall, because you know that now the supply chain has gone global, and there are many issues overall after pandemic. You know that. So there are many tools we have. We also have tools where through generative AI we are able to get one page report whenever you want from the system about any supplier in the world. This is what we have been able to achieve through this. So let me go to one of the cases in the next slide in the auto scheduling. This is buffer management. The way we work, I just now said that we work on a replenishment cycle. So for each and every part, we have scientifically calculated limits. I mean, depending upon the lead times and the average consumption and the lot size from the supplier. So there is, and also deviations, right? With that, there is a scientific formula wherein you define a buffer for each part. And entire thing works on that buffer management. There is a, as you consume, you get to a reorder level, and automatically the order goes to the supplier. This is how it works generally it works overall for each part. So this we started about long back, and with about 1.5 years of 2 years of data that we had, we created an AI module. Now it is running auto. In the sense, depending upon actual lead time, actual consumption, and actual lot size supplied for over 1 year or 2 years of supplies from the supplier, the buffer auto corrects itself so that you optimize the inventory. And it also gives you an input. If somebody is not supplying, it does two things. Some supplier is not adhering to the schedules, and immediately it increases the buffer so that you don't lose on because of the shortage, and immediately it gives you a signal saying that this has to be, why don't you look at this supplier and correct him. This is the power of AI. Like this, we have more than 7, 8 important tools where build ahead also we do using this another AI tool where you have one spike in any of the requirements of a part which goes beyond somebody's capacity, and again there is no requirement, it pre-builds the schedule so that you build that additional inventory to, when you get to that month where you have higher requirement, you cover them up. These are some of the things which we are doing in supply chain. This is on the people. Let me talk about a little bit on the people, what kind of use cases we have. First of all, we have a very good training module where we create radar chart for each person, wherein his knowledge, he's given training on knowledge, and then the safety, then general dexterity, and specific dexterity on the stages. And we tell our customers use 5 by 5 matrix, or 3 by 3 matrix. What does that mean? That means every machine or stage should have 5 trained people, and every person should be able to work in 5 stations. This is how we build the skill of the people so that you cover the entire shop. And since this is in the system now, this entire data is in the MES, so it actually auto schedules people on the right stage. You don't even have to tell person to go where to go and work. As soon as he punches, system will tell him where to go and work depending upon what skill sets he has. So that is one thing which we have achieved. And of course, the slide that you see here is we have used VR extensively for training. This is this is for two things. This is for welding as well as painting. What it does is that you get into a virtual environment. You will be in the paint shop, for example, when you go into this into a virtual environment. But gun that you have is real, and the paint that comes out is not the paint but the air, and he gets the same feeling. And he does painting in virtual environment, and instant results he will get once he completes the job. And in that, it will tell him that these are the defects you have created, this is the speed at which you have worked. So both till the time it auto certifies him, he cannot go to the shop. This is very useful tool for training. So VR is one thing we are increasingly asking our customers to use, because this is very, very useful. Here, for example, for paint, you don't need an instructor, one. Second is that you don't waste the part and the paint. And that's very tedious to do when you train somebody on painting. So this is what we are doing. These are some of the use cases which I have brought in and showed it to you guys so that you understand the meaning of some of the use cases, how impactful they are. The key here is more than technology, you should know how to use technology, where to use technology to your benefit. That is what we are good at. That's what we bring on to you, to the customers, so that you customers get benefited through Industry 4.0 intervention, what we call it as Factory of Future. So these are some of the use cases I thought would be very useful to you.
Ganesh, thank you so much. Great use cases, really illustrative. I want to dive into the actual partnership now with AWS Tech Mahindra. Mani, could you highlight some of the relevant points of the Tech Mahindra AWS partnership? What do each of these entities bring to the table?
Absolutely. If you really look at this partnership, it is very unique because you look at 7 decades of core manufacturing experience and expertise coming in. more than 2 decades of core consulting and technology services capabilities coming in, and a hyperscaler who actually is known for their scale and innovation coming together. So it's kind of a true collaboration to really make a meaningful difference for our customers across their value chain. And if you look at each of these aspects, whether it is to do right at the basic building blocks of the cloud computing, to all the way how we would leverage AI and Gen AI capabilities, to leveraging the core cybersecurity features, the sensorization, the complete smart automation. In each of these elements, what we've really done is we've partnered with AWS at scale, and we bring in a unique blend of solutions together, where our customers are able to leverage the technological capabilities from AWS, the core competence of Tech Mahindra from a consulting and technology services, and leverage the Mahindra Group core manufacturing experience over 7 decades coming in. And this unique blend offers our customers certain capabilities which they would need so that they are able to accelerate their journey of the Industry 4.0. And this whole ecosystem which we enable is being done globally. And today we've had multiple customers where we handhold them in this particular journey across this. And some of the use cases which Ganesh sir had spoken about is something which you can see that how we've been able to create an impact for ourselves and how we are able to replicate these use cases for our global customers.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Mani. Ganesh, I want to ask you a question. It may seem obvious, but why is the right partner so crucial to building a factory of the future?
Yeah, I think first of all, let me say that I echo what Mani said, as far as the partners are concerned. You would have seen the use cases. They are all powerful use cases, right? And I'll shoot some of them. They are hundreds that we have. And you also saw that in the earlier side, the kind of opportunity that we have. We are talking about 260 billion opportunity, right? All this requires scale up. We need some partner who is very good at, a hyperscaler who can easily build so that we can build our cases easily on the platform, right? And then scale up, right? This is very, very important aspect to really digitalize the entire industry as an opportunity, which I see. So that is where I think AWS is a very right partner for us. They are very resourceful, also in terms of capability and handling the variety of levers that we technology levers which we spoke, right? So that is why I think that the AWS being very mature services partner with TechM, and like Mani said, with backup of Mahindra that we have, where we call the plants as live labs, as these three very strong entities work together. I think we can do wonders to the industry, and of course that opportunity is something is open for us to reap the benefits.
Ganesh, thank you so much. Unfortunately, that brings us close to the end of our time for this session. I want to give a big thanks to our panelists, Manikantan Mani NS and Ganesh Shenoy with Tech Mahindra. Thanks to you both for your excellent insights, expertise, etc. So we really appreciate it. Also, a big thanks to our sponsors, Amazon Web Services and Tech Mahindra, for making today's session possible. Now, before we go, just a quick note to our listeners. There's lots more information on this topic from our sponsors in the additional resources section of your player. You can download those assets to share with colleagues, clients, prospects, etc. So we do encourage you to do so. You can also download a copy of today's presentation to share. And finally, you can find out in the resources section how to get in touch with our sponsors to continue, accelerate, or even begin your factory of the future journey. So we do encourage you to take advantage of that. And with that, for Amazon Web Services, Tech Mahindra, and CIO Marketing Services, this is Jim Malone saying thanks everyone for tuning in.